well, happy new hair. For me, it is New Year's Eve, getting ready for ring in 2017, and so happy new hair, because this is actually, I think, a look that I'm finally happy with. I got some of my purple right there. I've got some gray in there, and then again put through some kind of dark. So I guess if you want to call that low lights or whatever. The gray is what I actually did is I had to hit some bleach on some spots. Again, trying to make it a little more vertical, just to get a little more blended in, so I didn't have that harsh line that I did when my experimental stuff was growing on. And then from that, I did tone that, and then I used some Pravana silver. You do have to have your hair pretty light for that, and anything that wasn't light enough for that, I went ahead and did. And then also, even when I use a regular toner, because I'm not extra careful about getting it on my hair, and that is mixed with a 20 volume, so wherever that gets on my natural dark hair, it turns it into like an orange color. Not very happy with that. So any place that got it kind of hit by anything that I didn't want, I went ahead and did it over with a brown hair dye. So that's where, if you've been following any of my stuff, this is where I finally landed at a place that I think I'm pretty happy with. So at the end of my journey, I wanted to share a couple tips with you. First of all, if you're doing any of your stuff yourself, there's the regular basic tools that everyone kind of knows, the mixing brush and stuff like that. I would also recommend getting one of these. If you don't have one around from just regular, I mean, I have tons of these around from cold medicines and things like that. And I don't know, I'm done with the cold medicine, and I keep it just in case I am searching from another one. So I would keep this, and it has the graduated lines down there. Even this one starts at from half a teaspoon and 1.5, half, 1.5, 2. Which, speaking of those, if you've seen some other videos and they talk about measuring the capfuls from like a T18 or one of these toners or something, and they're talking about using the capfuls to measure. I did measure a capful of that, and one capful does turn out to be half a teaspoon. So if you're using that for something like this, and you are following other videos that tell you how much based on the capful, then you want to go by this. This one also does have other milliliters and other measurements like that. If you don't have one from a medicine thing, you can buy one of these straight away at a drugstore. Another tip that you can find along the way is if you are in need of 10 volume, and for what, just to do a little bit of something where you're like, oh, I only want to do a highlight or something like that, and that you only needed a little bit of 10 volume and you didn't want to run out, or you ran out of 10 volume and you needed something in a pinch, regular peroxide, again, that you would get at the drugstore, that is, it tells the percentage of peroxide that it is. So 3% peroxide is equal to 10 volume. Another equivalency is if you have, say, 30 volume, and you need, at the end of the day, you need 4 ounces of 20 volume, you could do that by doing 2 ounces of 30 volume and 2 ounces of 10 volume, or if you're missing the 10 volume, go ahead and use that. So those are some, I'm pretty sure on all that stuff I found around there, someone could check me on it. I will say that I've used this where I have needed to use 10 volume, and it's done the job. So it hasn't, obviously being lighter on it, it's not going to hurt you either. One final tip, I guess, something that I do, again, other people may recommend against it, but so far I have not seen the downside of it, is since a lot of time you are just using, especially if you're going to be doing highlights, in my case, I didn't need to tone my whole head, and so I'm not using this, this is the 050 additive to the T18, I'm not using the entire bottle of stuff, so I don't want to keep buying a whole bottle every time. You can just use it. People are like, oh, well, if you open it, it oxidizes, stuff like that. I don't understand this. It's not like it's packed under vacuum. Maybe if you had it hanging around for 3 years, it might not be so good, but if you are working with your hair once a month or something like that, yeah, that's again why I would not use, as long as you don't use the bottle or the lid or whatever to measure your developer in with the product, I don't think you're going to get any problem with that. And that's the same thing that I did too. When I did the dark in here recently, I just bought a regular box dye, and since I wasn't really dyeing my whole head, I went ahead and just used some of this straight away and mixed it in a mixing bowl. I poured it out. I did not put the developer that came with this. And I guess I kind of theorized that it was, since it's a dark color, it wasn't going to be a 20 volume, that it was going to be more along the lines of a 10 volume. And I looked at the quantity, the ounces of this. It was 2.4 fluid ounces, and so was the developer. So that made me kind of like, okay, used a little bit of common sense and said it's a 1-to-1 ratio of whatever it is. So I mixed out how many teaspoons or whatever that I thought I would need of this, and then did the same with that for, instead of 10 volume, in my case, I just used 3% peroxide. So this is possibly the end of my hair journey for a while, and thanks for coming along with me, and those are some tips I've had, and good luck on your own hair journey.